So on to the next project, the bumper. It's uneven, as you can see. I might have been from when I put it in the ditch before, but let's go ahead and get started on the work because that's annoying. And so I always like to do these projects right with tools in hand, minimal tools. I don't always like to go straight to AutoZone or anywhere else and have to buy stuff online. What do I have in the trunk? And the tire changing kit. That's what I have here is the 17 and 19 millimeter opposing sides. And I'm trying to get that to work with a piece. I think that was from the light removal tool. It wasn't strong enough, so I actually got the piece that was meant for changing the tires, which I found in another area, and I'm sticking it through because there's a hole there. And I'm going to attempt to muscle that 19 millimeter bolt out of the place where it goes in to hold up the bumper, and it looks like I'm somewhat successful. A little bit of muscle power there, and yeah, we're starting to remove it out, as you can see. And this is a little time lapse. You guys don't have to sit there and see it, but it's also gratifying at the same time because at least you're seeing the whole entire process. And so we'll slow it down a little bit as we actually take the bolt out, and it does come out and it's still threaded. There goes the washer. And now we're on the other side. And so again, this is interesting sometimes because with these projects, one side always comes out so easy. The other side sometimes is tough, or there's tolerance built up, especially when that was the side maybe with impact. And as you can see, I'm able to start turning it. Another nice gratifying time lapse because that's what we're doing these days. And yeah, it's coming out with a bit of little dust, as you can see there. But two washers. There's a spring washer, and then there's a bigger washer. You want to make sure you put those back on when you do them. And look, bumper out. That easy. Crazy. It's crazy that the bumper is only held up by two 19 millimeter bolts. You might want to go ahead and disconnect the wiring harness for your side marker lights or your signal lights there. Always, you know, if you want to move it out the way completely. On this car, they're actually different on both sides, and it looks a little interesting, so I'm taking a little time and a little extra care to make sure that I'm doing it right. I think I'm almost trying to pull it through the assembly there, the grommet or the rubber that's there, but I think I gave up on that attempt eventually. So what we see here is uneven shock bumpers, or whatever you want to call these. I believe this happened after I put it in the ditch, or it might have been there before. The idea is that we want to try to find a way to pull this shock back out, possibly push that one in a little bit and make the bumper even all over again. Let's see what we got. So, you know, doing this, I'm thinking of, okay, how am I going to pull this shock out? You can do it with like maybe pulling it with another car. You have to have a tow hitch. That seems pretty involved. If we have to get to that, we will. But I'm trying to think of something else. Oh wait, there's that same bar again that I used to remove the bolts. How can I use this again? So now I'm starting to think, okay, how are we gonna do this? JR, are you strong enough? I knew you're a pretty strong guy, you know. But yeah, that's not gonna work at all. No, it's not. So now I'm starting to think to myself a little bit, okay, what else can grab onto this? There's a hole that goes to the top. That bar is too thick for that hole, so it's not going to work that way. Where do I gain leverage? So I'm in my MacGyver mode, right? I'm doing a oh, JR, look over there. There is some PB Blaster. Okay, so that is an idea. If it's a strut or something, you can spray some PB Blaster rather loosely. I'm trying to get it inside the boot there and loosen things up a little bit because that's really good for doing things like that. The PB Blaster, you should always have plenty of that on hand. And so now I'm thinking, all right, JR, look at the situation again. There's two bolts. I believe they're 13 millimeter bolts. Let's remove these 13 millimeter bolts. See if I can, oh wait, can I? Yeah, I can pull out the whole shock. Now I can observe this thing a little bit better and understand what's going on. And so afterwards, I decided to actually reinstall the shock. And now I'm gonna use that same tool again, and I'm gonna, now with the PB Blaster in there, work it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it's starting to kind of work. It's starting to kind of look good. Yep, let's see what we got. Huh. So, as you can see, I got this piece back out again. Now let's reset the bumper. Do a check. Now that's perfect. Right back on angle. Wow, that was pretty easy. Much better. Now look at that. The bumper's back on temporarily because I don't like to lose parts. But now it is perfect. Gear pulled out, the shock pulled out and everything back to normal. That was a good project for the day.